Hey gang, it's Chris Angel with Curt Stockwell from Well Dressed Walrus, and Curt, it's our first episode of the human side of marketing.
That's right. Let's do this.
I'm excited, man. It's so cool. By the way, long overdue. I think this conversation of the human side of marketing is long overdue, and I feel like it's starting to catch on around the world. People want something that's more human in their marketing.
Absolutely.
I love it. Just real quick for everybody listening and that don't know you, tell us like what do you do? What's your business? Who are you?
Yeah, I have a website design company called Well Dressed Walrus, and we're in the tech media industry, so we can have a weird name. I guess it's okay. So,
okay.
Right. So we don't have a love for Arctic animals or anything. We just decided to be kind of odd. So anyway,
yeah.
Nice. But people like it. So
it is catchy.
Yeah, thanks. So Well Dressed Walrus, we are a website design company. We also do back-end support, so hosting, SEO, ongoing marketing related primarily to your website and the things that your website are kind of connected to. And I think we'll get into that here in a little bit of your website's the hub, and the spokes of the hub are these other things around the internet that cast a wider net to allow people to get caught and funneled back to your marketing messaging on your website. So
I'm really excited for today's episode because of I want to dive into what is a website? Why do we need a website? Because I think a lot of people have they think it's a necessary evil. Like, I've got to pay a ton of money to have a website because I'm supposed to have a website, but I don't know what to do with it. Yeah,
that's really funny. I had a conversation yesterday with a secretary. A lot of times we'll have the secretary is tasked with find a local company that can do our website. Right. And these decision makers are really looking at their website as a necessary evil, and which always is it's interesting to me that in 2018 you would look at your website, which is really honestly the front door of your business now, and you're looking at it like we've got to clean the front door, the front of the business, and we've got to actually repair those windows. We got to take that ripped awning and actually, repair it. What a pain in the neck! And you would think that people would not look at it like that, but it is looked at like a necessary evil many times. So I was speaking with this secretary, and she's totally on board. She's like, I know we need a website. I know we need to get this thing fixed. We're so out of date. We're a great company. We have all of these things that people keep coming back to us for, but getting new business. And then one thing that they were really interested in is attracting new employees or fresh bodies coming out of school. It was an engineering firm. And she said, people come to our website and we look old and dated and kind of fuddy-duddy.
Right.
And she said, as we were going through this process, I said, it sounds to me like the pain of building a website is greater than is not as big, is greater than the pain of not finding great employees. And she's like, yeah, I would say so.
Wow.
So the pain of building a website is I'll say it again, is greater than, in their mind, than actually finding great employees. Yep. And it's really a myth. Honestly, it's a myth that a website is a huge pain, because I think a lot of things that people have experienced in the past when it comes to building a website is the process that the company who's building the page or building the website, or the marketing agency, or honestly a lot of times the nephew in the basement who's building the website for dirt cheap. That whole process, whether it's been an agency or some kid that's building the website for them because they're trying to do it on the cheap, the whole process was extremely painful in the past. And they don't want to do it again. And so I think where that necessary evil thing comes up is people have had a lot of misfortune and unfortunate circumstances happen to them during the process of creating their most important marketing tool. Not even online marketing. The most important marketing tool is your website.
Yeah. I think based on just what you said, like people who have tried it before, they hired somebody, it didn't go the way they wanted, or they tried to do it on the cheap because it was like, I'm not going to spend 10 grand for a website. I'll have my nephew do it in his basement. And it never comes out the way they want it to come out. And they're like, and then they use that as evidence to be like, this is just another thing that was a waste of money that didn't work. So let's go this direction. I know we've had conversations in the past about like, what are the three like things that a website should really be doing? Because I think until you're clear on what your website should be doing, of course you're going to see it like a necessary evil.
Right.
So walk us through that.
Yeah. We say that your website should do three things at its core. It should you should provide an opportunity for relationship. Mm-hmm. It should provide utility. Mm-hmm. And it should give you as a business ROI.
Yep.
So starting on point one there.
Yeah. Break that down.
Relationship. So number one, it should be a way to foster relationship. Many times when you're networking, I do a lot of networking. I know you do a lot of networking.
Yeah.
And you're talking to somebody about your service or your business or your organization or your nonprofit or whatever. Mm-hmm. In 2018, people have the luxury mm-hmm. of going, yeah, I don't really want to get into this conversation right now. Give me your business card. Let me look at your website.
Right.
You don't have to go on that first date with somebody in a face-to-face scenario. You can kind of go on that first date with this business or organization by going to the website and gaining the information, or really what it is do I want to invest more of my time into this individual or this business? Yeah. What problem are they solving? And is it the problem that I have?
Yeah.
So it's piece of the relationship, the part gives you an opportunity as a business or an organization to foster a relationship. That's step one.
Yeah, and I want to go deeper on step one, because the way that most people, like if your nephew did the website in the basement on the cheap, the reality is like maybe the design was okay, so that it was attractive. I mean, if you show up to a first date and you don't look very good, the chances of you establishing a relationship aren't great. So your website has to look good. That's just like the ground floor to making this work. But beyond that, I think when you look at how consumers interact with websites, they browse, they scroll, they're looking for, what is your worldview? How do you see things? Do I like how you sound? Do I like what you say? And that is just like, if you bought like a 10-page website, you would want every page to have some way to deepen the relationship. Right.
Yeah. There's a thing called the grunt test, or I've even called it the trunk test. So the grunt test, the concept is, if you were to sit down with somebody, open up your laptop, show them your website, let them, maybe kind of start to scroll, count to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, close the laptop, and then ask them, what is this website about?
Right.
What do I sell? How will it make your life better?
Right.
And what is the next step to buy, or the next step to take? And if you can't communicate that within 7 seconds, many times you're going to lose that potential buyer or user or connector to your business.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that really points. I think that's an under. I think people don't focus on what their website says. And a lot of times their website has way too much text. It's filled with lingo, things that people don't understand. It's not really clear. And that's a real barrier to relationship. Like, I don't even know how to relate to you right now. It's like you're speaking another language. And when you speak another language, there's no connection, which connection equals relationship, right?
Right.
I think one of the other things that a website should be used for to build relationship, or another tool that a website has, is a blog feature. And what I know is most people just don't post regularly to their website. So if I'm already familiar with you, but you don't keep creating new content, let's even say it was quarterly content. Like, just look, once a quarter, tell your story, come out with something that lets the public know. And not just the public that doesn't know you, but lets your database know, hey guys, we just posted this story about how what we're doing is helping other businesses like yours. Check out their story. That is a really important way to use your website. Keep it fresh. Keep creating conversation.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, there's many different ways that you can provide relationship, blogging or posting stories, or, really testimonials are fine to have, really maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 testimonials.
Right.
But to invest your time in a page of 35 testimonials, nobody's going to read them.
Right.
Because a lot of times testimonials are like, love the team over at XYZ. They're great. Would use them again. That doesn't really tell me,
right,
what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
And so you're totally right, Chris. A great strategy for that is to take this great website that is usable, and go out and get those stories from your clients. Or, a lot of times too, there's things happening within the industry that you're an expert in, that you need to have a voice to, and people can go, oh, I heard about that on the news, and my financial advisor just talked about that in this email that they sent, and it navigated me back to the website. Oh, look at this. It's so easy to buy from them, or oh, so easy to connect with them. And that's that relationship part. And now we're kind of putting in that utility piece. Right. So the second thing there is utility. So what can you provide to your users that gives them a useful utility that is something that they can take and it makes their life better. Like I said, what do you sell? How's it going to make my life better? And how do I buy, or what's the next step? So there's that utility piece.
Yeah. I think too, in utility, it's just about how do you be useful to your people? Your website doesn't always have to sell. Sometimes the sale is in the background of the thing you're doing. So a lot of times common ways to create utility is training and education, like teach your people something.
Right.
If you are a plumber, don't just always say like, call me for your plumbing needs. Like, teach me how to unclog my drain for free, right? Like, teach me stuff that would be, and do that on to the quarterly story kind of an idea. Go out and find some of your clients who have followed your stuff and implemented this thing, and get their story about how they used your tips to not have to call you.
Right. There's a couple different places people can start when it comes to leveraging their website in a greater way. And step one could be, honestly, plopping down the right amount of money, a good amount of money to get your website completely rebuilt. And sometimes that needs to be step one. That doesn't necessarily always need to be step one. I was just talking last night with a friend at church, and he was saying that, his company went the cheap route, got the website built, and it just has been a terrible experience. And when I was reviewing their website, actually just before our call today, I can see right out of the gate, the problem is when you land on their website, the messaging's not clear. It's not clear as to what they do. They've got a very philosophical kind of statement as the main statement. Scrolls down and immediately goes into their mission statement. Hey, mission statements are great, but honestly, people don't care unless they understand how it's solving their problems. And honestly, with them, what we could do is come in and take the tools that have already been established by this other company that built their site and fix their messaging. Right. And that messaging piece focused on relationship and utility will kind of come into this next piece of ROI. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, while we're on that topic, I mean, this is so important that you guys created an entire service around this, where you would come out once a quarter and actually keep telling the story of the company and the company's clients in the website, like, so that the website isn't built one day and then it lives in the garage forever. Actually, we should probably share that analogy, because I love that analogy.
Right. Yeah. So let's get into that. We do have a service where we are helping you. What we say is, we've built you this great high performance vehicle. And a lot of times when we do that, clients back it into the garage. And when you were checking in going, hey, how's it going? How's the website? We're like, it's great. We get a lot of good feedback on it when people land there. Yeah.
But when people go in the garage and look at our high performance vehicle, they say it's really sexy. They think that's really cool.
And it provides value to them when they start to engage with it. And what I realized recently is we need to help people provide more utility, get that second piece really nailed down. And in a service that we're providing actually is a quarterly approach to providing this utility through helping the businesses either tell a great story about something that they did with a client that was just a huge success. Yeah. It usually transitions into something that's happening within the industry that a lot of people would connect with. Right. That also gives an opportunity for businesses to say, hey, here's a big win that we just had. And honestly, your tribe or your clients, they want to see you win, because everybody likes to be part of a team that's winning, right? Yep. And so it's an opportunity for you to do that. And the reason why we do it quarterly you can, honestly, you could blog every day and you could make,
right.
Marketing videos weekly.
Yeah,
definitely,
sure.
You could definitely do that. And we can do that. But this approach that we took to quarterly is, I think a lot of times businesses, when they're getting into this concept of providing consistent content, use it through their website, providing that utility piece, they feel like it's this big monster elephant.
Right.
We've all heard the quote, the way to eat an elephant's one bite at a time.
Yep.
So the quarterly thing allows us to come in quarterly, tell this great story, and then we've got this great content, and then we splinter it. Yep. And what I mean by splinter it means we might have a record a video and maybe it's 20 minutes, but then we can take splinter content and maybe it's 1 minute sound bites or 2-3 minute sound bites and use that throughout the rest of the following quarter to get the connection with your clients consistently.
I like too that you're able to it's like you have this high performance vehicle in your website, but that then you're able to actually go take it out and drive it. Meaning, if you have a team, even if you don't have a team, how many emails do you send in a week? If you had at the bottom of your signature every quarter the new story that was on your site, and you've got another way to drive people back to your site, which deepens the relationship. If you're telling a story that's useful, that's utility, right? In fact, we could probably bridge into the third thing now of ROI, but like when you're driving people back to your site for new content every quarter, that puts them in a position to hire you.
Right.
So let's talk about ROI for a minute.
Right. Yeah. So again, the thing that is the driving force in you, help your clients understand what's in it for them and how it's going to change their life. Okay, so we've already established that, and if you can do that, that's really where you're going to see the return on your investment, your ROI. A lot of times, businesses, going back to that necessary evil piece, is they say it doesn't work. My website doesn't work. We built it. It doesn't work. Well, yes, you have a website, but your messaging is not good. It's not easy to navigate. You're not really providing any relationship or utility. And so, of course, the ROI is not there. And also, many times businesses spend money, they build the website, they check the box of website, and then they go spend money on like pay-per-click campaigns, or somebody's kind of poured honey in their ear about getting on the first page of Google.
Right.
And there's a lot of companies out there that promise these big things. And what they say is, and the message is always the same, we will get you impressions and we will get you click-throughs, meaning we'll get people to your website, and that's all that they're promising.
Right.
That's fine, but I would rather have 100 people come to my website and create 60 conversions,
right,
than 1,000 people come to my website and have 30 conversions.
Yep.
Really what it comes down to is search engine optimization is vital, is important. But if you don't have a website that's going to convert people from just click-throughs into conversions, then it's not working. And you're right, the website doesn't work. So the return on the investment is really seen when you see your website as a tool to create conversions. And the formula that we have will create conversions.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is if your website was designed for aesthetics, like the way it looks, and it wasn't designed to move people into a sales funnel, then you're missing a key component of like what your website is supposed to do. And no wonder people treat it like a necessary evil. If your website doesn't make you money,
right?
It's easy for people to say like, hey, your website's going to make you money. It's an investment. But unless there's actual mechanics built into your site to create those conversions, the chance of a conversion happening is very low.
Right.
And that's where ROI happens. When your web design company, when your people have a perspective for conversion, then they know how to build into every page an opportunity for people to do business with you. And that's so important. So important.
I totally agree.
I know you do. That's awesome. Well, I like where the conversation is going with this. I feel like just even in this first episode, talking about what is a website, what the three things that are important with a website, I feel like this is just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for what we get to dive into as we keep doing these episodes for the human side of marketing. Is there anything that you would leave people with in the end of this episode? Like, I have a website, I'm frustrated. Like, what can I do about it?
Yeah. I mean, we do no obligation intake meetings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to come in and just talk about where you're stuck on your website, kind of what your mindset is about the internet or about your website, or even about how do I connect these other, I kind of briefly got into the concept of your website's the center of a wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and the spokes of the wheel are everything that you're funneling traffic back to your website from. So one spoke could be social media, one spoke could be honestly networking,
right?
Because it doesn't have to be digital. One spoke could be YouTube. One spoke could be you've got an article that was written about your company, and there's a URL linking back to your website.
Right.
There's many spokes to the wheel.
Yeah.
And sometimes where people get really, I think, kind of lost or jaded is they look at the spokes of the wheel as really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And they've invested money or time into one of those spokes.
Yep.
And it's funneling back to a website that's not created it's not set up to create conversions. It doesn't have relationship utility, thus not providing ROI. And there's a bad taste in their mouth about everything associated with that kind of, because when people spend money and it doesn't work, it's frustrating.
Yep.
There's this phrase that says it's only expensive if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right.
And it's true.
Right.
If and people quickly look at spending money on their website or things associated with their website, again, as a necessary evil because it doesn't work. Yeah. So we have conversations with people all the time, no obligation. Let's just kind of talk through where you're stuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we can kind of unpack these philosophies and these proven concepts that we have about what your website should be, people leave with a much better understanding and really some hope for what it could be. We have a couple different ways to get into a great website, a full-blown, 8, 10, 12-page website, or maybe it's just a smaller thing that you need just to kind of help that process of starting to create some of those conversions. And we can do a smaller version of a great website. So we can really kind of meet people wherever they are. And that is, again, a great way just for us to even kind of start talking.
I think the thing that I like most about what, I love that you guys feels like a full service shop. Like if I needed something, you guys could figure out how to help it. But I think what's more important is that you're a safe place to start that conversation. Like sometimes it just comes down to strategy. Like let's turn over all the pieces on the table and see what we're dealing with before we make some decision on what you're supposed to buy from us.
Right. There's been many times where we've talked to people, gave them some clarity on where they were stuck. Yeah. And they said, I just don't have the money to do this right now. I'm a startup. I'm this and that. Yeah. And, honestly, I've said, hey, you know what? Go over to Wix. Yeah. Create a website at Wix, honestly, or at Squarespace. Yeah. They have a low ceiling. So at some point you're going to hit your head on the ceiling and need something better.
Right.
But if you need to and when you go do that, use these concepts,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Because you could go to Wix and Squarespace right now and create something, but if you don't have the strategy for relationship, utility, and ROI,
right,
you're going to build something that's obsolete or doesn't perform the job. So
right. And honestly, many times we hear back from them after a couple months and they're like, I need to figure out a way to have you guys do this because I'm trying to run here's another thing too. You're trying to run your business. Yep. You're not a website company or you're not a website designer.
Right.
And I think once people start, making their knuckles get bloody because they're like, I'm scratching and clawing and grinding on this thing, and it's still not providing the resource I need. I need to just realize I'm not a web designer. I'm trying to run this nonprofit or I'm trying to run this business, and I need to just let the professionals do it. And we can really help people wherever they are in their budget.
Yeah, I love that. What's the best way? So that's super. I love that because I think more and more people need to at least talk through their web strategy. What's the best way for people to connect with you who want to maybe set up a time with you that way?
Yeah. So, really, honestly, the easiest part is to go to our website, which is welldressedwalrus.com. If you don't like typing all that, you can type in wdwalrus.com. Mm-hmm. And our contact information is there. And then also we'll provide another couple links at the end of this video here. If you're specifically looking at how to clarify your message and how to maybe connect with your customers in a greater way through that quarterly process, we could even start there. We can start there and usually kind of circle back to the website, or maybe start with the website itself and eventually
Right.
get to that other piece. So we'll have a couple links at the end of this video too.
Okay, great. Awesome. Curt, I'm excited for the human side of marketing, the show, and what we get to talk about. Thanks for your time today, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much.